Hello, everyone. Here's your weather hazard briefing for Wednesday, February 19th. Our next round of rain and snow arrives today, and this will continue into tomorrow. Not much wind today, but on the backside of this storm, we'll see some gusty winds developing over part of the area as we go into Thursday, especially earlier on in the day. After tomorrow, we do have some light precipitation. It's not an everyday thing off and on into the weekend and actually into early part of next week. The big issue is going to be a much warmer air mass moving in from the west. We're talking highs by end of the weekend in some places into the 50s. Satellite shows we got some low clouds over us early on Wednesday, and there's a little bit of fog out there as well. Most of this is up in the upper end of the Snake Plain over into the eastern highlands, but you can already see higher and mid-level clouds moving in with our system. That's the main push of moisture that's coming in here later on today to give us that rain and snow. And our impacts, most of it's going to be in the higher elevations. We do have a little better chance of seeing some snow during the colder period later on tonight up across the Snake Plain, especially once you get up towards Rexburg, St. Anthony, Ashton in that direction. That continues into early tomorrow morning. Impacts much less elsewhere. And Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, again, not much in the way of precipitation. A little better chance area-wide on Sunday. Maybe a few impacts in some of our higher elevations by the time we get to that point. Looking at how things are going to progress today, there is that little bit of moisture and a little bit of stratus, some light snow, light flurries up across portions of the upper end of the plain into the eastern highlands. As we go through the day, you'll notice that band moves in by the time we get to around lunch hour over our western areas, especially coming through Boise, western Idaho. That comes in later on today. It kind of fizzles out a little bit, but there's still a pretty good push of moisture with that. And with temperatures today, some of this will be a mix of rain and snow, or rain initially during the warmest part of the afternoon, and then switching over to snow as we go into the overnight hours. And not terribly organized. The system will be just basically over the top of us, so we'll get these little bands of snow showers coming through the area, and that trend continues into tomorrow. Maybe a little bit of an upslope convergence hybrid event coming from Island Park all the way down towards Pocatello early tomorrow morning, and even trying to extend down towards Burley. So not necessarily a true convergence event where you see a band moving down from the upper end of the plain towards the Magic Valley, but more or less something similar, maybe some upslope conditions more taking over more tomorrow morning across the Snake Plain, especially the southern and eastern end of the Snake Plain. But that starts to fizzle out as we go into tomorrow, and just some lingering snow showers up across the eastern highlands mainly, maybe a few sneaking back down across the rest of the Snake Plain. So going back to some of our more detailed forecast for today into tomorrow. This is this morning, just some light precipitation again in the form of snow, rain, or snow in the lower elevations, and wind gusts not terribly strong, maybe already into the low 20s down across the South Hills and the Albion Mountains. Here comes our push through this afternoon. Again, not much wind. Some areas 20 to 25 mile an hour gusts, but this is going to be wet snow where it falls this afternoon, so blowing and drifting not a huge issue. But you can see generally a less than an inch in some of our more populated areas until you get into the Arco Desert, back into the Central Mountains where a couple of inches are possible. Might see a little more than two, maybe 2 to 3 up across the higher peaks of the Sawtooth, also up into Limhi County. And those temperatures today, we talked about the warmer temperatures, and you'll see it's above freezing in Idaho Falls and certainly closer to 40 once you get Pocatello down towards Preston, Malad, over towards Burley, Glens Ferry into the low 40s for afternoon highs. Going into this evening, that push of moisture pushing eastward, lingering snow on the backside of this system across the Central Mountains with the main area of snow, and starting to kind of get that little bit of convergence, a hybrid, upslope hybrid event over Island Park, Du Bois, Mud Lake, Rexburg, a couple of inches of snow, 2 to 3 inches around Ashton and Ashton Hill this evening. And those gusts starting to pick up across the south. They'll be dwindling up north, but some of those gusts down south around 25 to 30 miles per hour. Going to the overnight hours, you can see that upslope snow continuing from Pocatello up through Ashton Hill and starting to push over into the big holes as well. Otherwise, the winds die off, except on the backside of that system coming up the Snake Plain from the Treasure and Magic Valleys. Some of those gusts 30 to 40 miles per hour overnight. That trend continues in tomorrow with just some light snow lingering, maybe an inch or two in some of our higher elevations, some of the bench areas as well. And then tomorrow afternoon, pretty much done with this round. And the wind still lingering strongest, but starting to weaken down across the Magic and Treasure Valleys by the afternoon. And looking at those temperatures for Thursday, you can see where we get the wind, a little bit of wind overnight, temperatures staying very close to freezing. Elsewhere, it'll be in the teens and 20s. Afternoon highs tomorrow, a little bit cooler in some areas, but a lot more places pushing at or above freezing, mid-30s to near 40 degrees in some areas. Stanley is above freezing, near 40 in Chalice. Even Island Park is above freezing tomorrow. Going into Friday, maybe a couple of snow showers up in Island Park, but otherwise it cools off a little bit up north, but again, back down towards Pocatello, Burley, Twin Falls, we'll see some low 40s returning with overnight lows in the single digits and teens in the colder spots for Friday morning. Saturday, we start to warm up in the afternoon, near 50 at Burley, Oakley, into the Treasure Valley as well. Low 40s and even near 40 in Stanley for an afternoon high on Saturday. And going into Sunday, there are some of those 50s cropping up in the Magic and Treasure Valleys, and that gets even warmer, another 4 or 5 degrees warmer if you're looking ahead all the way into Monday. Temperatures in the teens and 20s, but we get a little bit of wind coming into the Magic Valley. Temperatures pretty much near the freezing mark. And just to kind of give you an idea just how much moisture may fall from Thursday night into Sunday, you notice it's not a lot over a multiple-day period. Maybe a little more than 6 inches over that longer period up across the higher peaks of the Sawtooth, just maybe a couple of inches over in the Tetons, just starting to add some more snow to our snowpack during that period. Have a great day, and do stay safe out there, everyone.